What's going on, guys? You had another episode of Entrepreneur Enthusiast. I got my boy Mike Strong in the building. Yes, I said Mike Strong.
Yes, that's my real name now.
How you doing, Mike?
Man, I'm good, bro.
Good,
man, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too, man. We got these products on here, and we was just touching on the subject of sea moss, and we're gonna go back because you are, I would say, one of the first people to really introduce me to the sea moss, and not just introduce me to it, but the values of it and what it can do for your body. Yeah. I know there's other people talk about it, but I mean, you one person I physically in person, face to face, got it. Why sea moss?
Sea moss, man. How I look at it is like the eighth wonder of the world, man. When my journey with sea moss is, I got injured. I blew my knee.
Yeah,
like I tore the cartilage in my knee. And my grandmother used to always give us herbs. Mm-hmm. My mom was born in Japan. She was raised in Ethiopia. Mm-hmm. And when we used to get sick, she used to give us like herbs like golden seal. Mm-hmm. So when I tore my knee, I was in Houston on tour doing a stage play. And I met this dude in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, man, I got something that can help you out."
Yeah.
So he gave me these capsules. I said, "What's in this?" He was like, "Man, it's sea moss, butterack, and burdock." He was like, "You ever heard of Sebi?" I was like, "School me."
Yeah.
I was around the time Nip was doing, the putting together the documentary and just raising that whole, conversation about certain stuff. So the name was big. So he was, I never forget it. I took the capsules that night, and that next morning, my body felt different. I felt like hella refreshed, and it wasn't no gimmick.
Yeah.
It wasn't no, you know what I'm saying? It was like the real
deal.
deal.
Why do you think sea moss is not readily available for us?
I think it's really just access, and you got to understand, people are watering this down these days, guys. You guys got to really understand what sea moss is. Sea moss it's an algae that grows from the coral reef, deep down in the sea, where all your minerals and all of your, sea moss is 92 of the 102 minerals our body's made of. So you think about it, what we're made of, it's really putting your body back to what it really is. So it starts to self-correct. And that's the real importance of sea moss. You know what I mean? Getting the correct minerals in your bodies that will affect anything. Because you can take sea moss, you can eat it, and you can also use it on the topical for like your face and things like that, for your hands. And so what that tells you is that this all natural product, when you get the pure stuff, not the pool farm meaning, for those of you who don't know, that somebody that almost is manufacturing it at this point. It's when you take a cord, you put it in the ocean, you put a little bit of sea moss out there, and then it grows. It just grows, but that's just not the way God intended. Like, I pay divers in Jamaica. I pay divers. Like, this is documentation. I pay divers, go out there, cut off the rig. They send me my joint back on WhatsApp, and then you send me a cup. We got about 15 pounds. It'll take them like maybe a week to accumulate the pounds that I want. When they dry them, and then they ship it off to me, and then that's when, like, I package it. And it's like I try to school people to look for the belly button, as I like to call it, and it's a rock. You'll see it the rock, like literally where they cut it off from the rock. And there's a certain things that you want to look for when you're purchasing sea moss. You want to look for like salt and stuff on it. If it's like salt and it's thick and when you put it in water, if it's expanding crazy, most of the time that's not the real thing. It's not going to grow any much more than what it is, but it'll be like the natural. It'll look like nice and full. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, that's a half pound. I provide that for like my clients and whatnot too, if they want to go through the process themselves.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Why do you think? I mean, it's interesting because, and I'm asking these questions. Some of them I know, some of them I don't know, but I want our audience to understand. Why do you think this has not been introduced to us as a solution to fix our problems?
Because we're a pharmaceutical
surgery costs more.
We're a Western medicine country. I mean, let's not, let's just keep it real, man. This is a fascist country. It's just what it is. It's a fascist country, and if they can't profit off of it, and if they can't mass produce it, you know what I'm saying, they have to. It's going to be watered down, just like with, let's just say 70% of the food that we eat. Like, people don't know. All right, we're big on bananas, for example, right? But bananas really have no real value. They really have no real nutrition. They'll promote that it's high in potassium and all this, but that's not that particular banana. Is not the one. Because
I think last year is when I found out, like, real bananas are like that small.
It's big.
Yeah, like the bananas we be eating in the store, like all that is
the most nutritious. Now
it's crazy. Yeah.
The other ones are just really like fillers. Like that's what it is. Just something for somebody to eat. You think about it like this: if every time, that's why McDonald's is so powerful. For example, McDonald's is so powerful because it has a system, system for some people to be able to consume food, to eat, to fill a void,
and they're addicted to it too.
And it's highly addictive.
It's interesting. My mother passed away of cancer in 2017 or 18, but she, towards her end, and she was craving like Taco Bell, like processed fast foods, and I was like, I didn't understand why she didn't want the fresh organic foods, and so I started reading and realizing like it's because she's thriving for those chemicals. She's thirsting for those chemicals that are in the food and not the natural foods. So I recently, even myself, just purchased some land in Georgia. My wife and I starting a garden, so we can talk. Really, it's because I was buying blueberries from the store and they'd be expired the next day because I was getting the real ones. And then you go to Costco and get the ones they last like 2 weeks. It's like something up. So that kind of got me on that education. So I'll ask you this. When you was young, Mike, did you know about this?
No, my grandmother would just give us stuff.
Yeah,
she would just give it to us, and it was
here's some rubber tussin, baby.
No, here's some golden seal. And for those of you that know what golden seal is, boy, it's man. I'm like, Grandma, you trying to kill us?
Oh man,
it's but those. That's food. That's food. That's powerful food.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely when you break it down to a process. And I think the reason that, that we don't really have access to this stuff because this is the truth.
This is the truth, yeah.
This stuff is the truth. Food is the truth.
Yeah.
That's what, if you really think about all the food that has been promoted to us as a child, you think of what they tell you. You eat carrots, it's good for your eyes.
Milk, it does a body good.
Milk does
and I'm
a
lactose
body so bad. Milk does a body bad.
Yeah.
I want to see my son throw up. I give him some milk. Him a pizza. Give him some of that cheese. Give him some. Navy is coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that just goes to show you that, even me now at a particular age, I could not. I wonder why I used to spit so many loogies when I was a kid. I was the loogie man.
Yep.
But that was that cereal and that peanut butter jelly sandwich I used to eat every day after school, or that top ramen I used to eat. Like all of that stuff.
Just piling up in your body. Up. So when you were younger, because now you're on a phase where you're pretty much supplying this product, you're selling this product. And on this podcast, we like to dive in deep. So did you always want to be an entrepreneur?
I think I was born this way.
Got it. I always ask is it like nature or nurture? So you're saying you were nurtured.
I was the kid selling candy.
Yeah.
I was a kid selling candy on the block. I was a kid racing from street light to street light, monetizing my moccasins. My mama bought me some moccasins, and I used to race on the block. I remember high school when before my daughter was born. I knew I had a job, and I was selling. I used to go to Costco. Yeah. I had a $63 dollar a day operation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had 63 pieces of candy. Each of them was $1. You know what I'm saying? It only took me X amount of money. It was just, I don't know.
That was your first job?
No, my first
hustle.
My first hustle was Pogs.
Okay, I remember the Pogs, the little round things that you used to
slammers.
slam.
I used to have slammers.
The slammers was the key.
Yeah, I used to play in 4 stacks. That's what I used to have metal slammers. I used to play in 4 stacks. So when I just knew how to hit it. So I used to take for every 2. I sell 1.
Man, shout out to Pogs, because that was like the first time that was like the real first like
that's
Campbell
80s, that's
hustle.
80s baby, early 90s baby talk. Yeah,
shout out to Pogs, because you said if you had a cold slammer, like nigga, I'm slamming on it, but like you didn't even know where or how to access that stuff, but you had to get it from somebody.
I bought I never forget when I bought a Pog maker.
Yeah, my man had a Pog maker. That's next level.
It, bro. I was taking what I would do is I would go like magazines. Yeah, and what it is you put the picture on the Pog. It had a sticky side, and then there was an easel. It would it would cut it out. So I was making everybody's favorite
custom Pogs.
Hello Kitty. You know what I'm saying? Hey, give me your baby picture. Pog, making bruh.
Man, that's dope. Like that's true, especially before like Amazon. I remember I burned a bunch of CDs. I sold candy. I did burn CDs, and I had the CD tower that I used to put in 1 and get 10. Like I had all that. So what? Like that for you to have the to be so intuitive to go research Pog Maker.
Yeah.
To be a source.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get it out. And you said that was nature in you. Like, but how did that feel? Like, did you know you were starting a business, or you were just trying to get money to survive?
We had a candy store on the corner store, and me and my cousins used to love candy. So
yeah.
Like mama, she wasn't giving us money for candy. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we grew up underprivileged and stuff. You know, my mom, she worked a lot. So naturally I was a hustler, but my mom, she was like, she would not only work at the toll bridge, shout out to the Bay Area, not only work at the toll bridge, she used to have this big ass book of invites, like wedding invitations. Yeah. And I remember ladies used to come over me and my mom's house, and she would be showing them, displaying them, all this stuff. My mom was very crafty. She used to paint like little, clay things, and she would always talk about selling them. Yeah. But like my mom was a hustler. Yeah. And then when my grandma as a kid, she used to take me to the farmer's market. And when she used to take me to the farmer's market, she would, I used to see, it was just like everybody was hustling. Then being from the Bay, you know, I remember back in the day with the box shelves on Magazine Street. I remember folks used to pop open the trunk and slang CDs out the joint. I remember the cassette tapes, man, as a jit that, you know, that people was buying and copying, and you used to record the mix from you know, KMEL 106 the night before, and then, hey, did you get it? You missed it? Hey, I got it. I got it. Dub it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It was just really something about, I didn't really understand that I was becoming an entrepreneur. It was just kind of like, man, hey, that's dope. I could do that.
Did you ever try to go corporate?
I did. How was that experience? It wasn't a good thing.
It felt like it wasn't for me, it wasn't a safe space. Like I couldn't be me. Like
it was somebody else's something.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was somebody else's something. And when I say corporate, I mean I say corporate as me like work for somebody. I work for Verizon Fios. Yeah. And that was the breaking point for me. That was the breaking point of all jobs. I did shoe stores. I did, you know, all that stuff. But when I could see what I made in a week, you know, in 2 sales I remember when I was in college, I was doing like gold teeth. Yeah. So I sell a grill. I get the grill for like $150, sell it for $450. I'm like, wait a minute, I just worked all day at fucking at Randall's Sports Bar and Grill as a waiter. Yeah. And I just upped myself in 2 sales.
Time and money.
Just understanding what was in demand and understanding what compensation for time is. That's why I love what I do now too. Working in financial services. When I started becoming an actor, and I got on the acting chain, and my first commercial made 50 bands. Yeah. And I was like, hold on, I'll never forget the first time I got my first check. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me there's royalties behind this, and there's what's this thing called? You said residuals? Is that how you said it?
Yeah, right.
And I was like, what? And I was like, yeah, you're gonna get a couple more of those. And I was like, wait a minute, it just changed my whole thought process. So going back to a job was always, it wasn't that I didn't want to work. It was like, hey, I want to work. I do want to work. I just don't want to get pimped.
Yeah. I think in our society teaches it trains us that that's what we're supposed to do. Yeah. I think it's in us to be the kings we are, to have our own, because what's the purpose of being here if I'm not building my own? Yeah. And it's interesting that you were able to navigate that at a young age without knowing. So then as you got older, I know you had your daughter. Yeah. And then I
was pretty young.
Yeah. How old were you?
I was 17.
17. So, and you know, it's uncommon, but it's common, you know, but some people, it can make or break people. Yeah. And I feel like in your case, it made you. How was that transition on when you had your daughter to now saying, okay, I'm hustling, I'm working, I'm an entrepreneur for fun, not even realizing saying I need to feed a mouth.
Yeah. No, it hit early. Like I always knew that I had to have bread. Yeah. But it wasn't until I knew I had to become that word, now that I'm understanding, an entrepreneur, because now I'm not living it, I'm surviving. I'm surviving. So now it's like, what's really in demand? All right, financial aid ain't paying this, and I like thank God for program. That's why I had to understand the programs, the crystal stairs, the welfare, the this, the that, and understanding that ain't money. Yeah. It's not money. That's just enough to keep you coming back. It's like a fix. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So from that, I knew I had to get more.
Yep.
I knew I had to get more, and feeding my child as an entrepreneur, honest to God, definitely at 17, it was the hardest thing in the world, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you taking care of her. You can go from living off, like you said, ramen noodles 50 cents a day to like having to feed a whole person that's hungry
and
3
still
times a
take
day.
care of the responsibility. And understand, I'm 300-400 miles away from home.
Yeah,
and we talking about this, like, people don't understand. I was a single parent. I was 17. I was an 18-year-old dumb kid in college, and I had a 6-month-old baby, 6-month-old baby, a year-old baby. You know, I'm pushing my kid around campus in a stroller.
Yeah.
You know, my team, my track and field team is helping me take care of the baby.
Yeah.
You know, my baby who is now 20 in college, kicking behind. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to her.
Beast.
Yeah.
Diamond, I love you. Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, that's dope. So you were hit with flight or fight.
Yeah.
You chose flight. You chose to fight, you know, and go get it. Because some people would have like broken them. They wouldn't have known what to do, you know, because you could have, you know, I'm not gonna say you could have easily, and no disrespect anybody has done this route, but you could have gave her up, you know, have somebody else raise her. But you made the choice to say, you know, I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna raise her, and then to continue that, you know, speak a little bit on that, and like, cause you like to be a full-time dad. At 18, when you don't even know yourself at 18.
You don't. And it's funny. I was just, your producer, we were having a conversation about children, and he was telling me he don't have children. He looks forward in the future to having children. I said, my advice to him was, 2 things. One thing, know who you are.
Yeah.
Know who you are as a man, as like what are your tics? What are your triggers? What is your strong points? What is really know who you are.
Yeah, but how do you know who you are if you don't know who
experience.
you are?
It takes time. Oh yeah.
As a culture that's like suppressed it in knowing who you are, like, you know, they don't want us to know our history. Like how did you come find that? How did you realize the king you were?
Well, I've always put it like this. I was confused as a child. I was always kind of like, I was always questioning. It was like, I grew up apostolic Baptist. We was banging the church out, every Sunday. And then I'm like, man, he don't look like us.
Yeah,
he don't look like us. But you telling me Africa's? I'm like, something different. So when I got a little bit rebellious when I moved out the nest. So I started studying other stuff. I started hearing, just like understanding that. Exactly what you said. They don't want you to know who you are.
Yeah.
Growing up in the Bay Area, you always, definitely you hear about the Panthers, you hear about, what I'm saying, like certain different cultures and whatnot. You just start to really, really question it. So with me not knowing who I was, all I knew what to do is just be at least a respectable dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Stand on 10 toes.
But yeah, most definitely stand on 10 toes, definitely behind being just my dad. I grew up without a dad.
Yeah.
My dad, he took that long vacation, 26 years. Wasn't a bad guy at all. It's, this is it. I'm a product of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I don't think they knew how to be dads, because
nah.
I mean, they, like you said, they don't want you to know. So going after, I mean, you had your daughter. And now you got to make ends meet. What was the next time that you then felt like, okay, I'm about to do this. I'm about to dive into an entrepreneur?
I never forget. It was my first acting gig. A lot of people think of acting just because you have an agent and all. It's a business.
Yep.
That shit is a business like a mug. I landed a commercial. Landed a big Nike commercial, 06, in May of 2006. Never forget it. At the time, I was a broke-ass college student.
Yeah.
Like, we was living off of welfare. If it wasn't for welfare, we wouldn't have been eating like that. You know what I mean? Financial aid, we was divvying up to, pay the rent.
Here comes somebody drop you some bands, and then equity, too, in the bands. Like, were you like, what?
I'm like, hold up. So, I never forget it. We shot for a week. I think it was I remember we got that first installment. That first installment maybe was about like $5,000. I'm like, oh shit, this is nice.
Yeah.
Like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
About 13 weeks after that, another check came in. It was for like 10.
Yeah.
I called the number at the top, GC service. What was it? 80P. It was Chicago address on the check, and I called him. I was like, hey, y'all send me a check. For about 10, I'm gonna let y'all know now. This is like, I'm cashing this at the check cashing right there on PCH.
It's funny because this is kind of like King. This is before. I mean, our culture, we knew about scammers. This before like the scammers and all that. So it's
nervous.
Like, yeah.
So
it's like
that's the condition of the fascists for us to know. Like, we're not supposed to feel.
We're not supposed to feel like
this ain't right.
You're paying me what I'm worth.
What? What just happened? Y'all giving me a cut? So, and then I never forget. She said, "Oh, Mr. Strong, yeah, you got about 4 more of those coming." Mm-hmm. So I racked up like maybe 50 in the first commercial, first 2 commercials. Like, and it got really real. So from there, I knew, okay, there's a different way of really getting money out here. And it's not just by having a product. Yeah. Because I was product driven. I'd always, it was either candy, weed,
whatever it is. You can say
whatever it was, you know,
network, bro.
Like tree, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, where I'm from, like I don't seen people, you know, hooked on crack. I don't seen people, you know what I'm saying, at the effects of what the government dropped in the community.
It's product based. Anybody in our culture, 100% has been product that's been put in our face. And I said this on the last podcast, like, you know, being an 80s baby, like the only people we able to look up to, you got Diddy. Yeah. You got, and then Jay-Z was
people that we knew that was right here though.
He was just a rapper. Jay-Z was. He didn't even know the entrepreneur Jay-Z at the time. So it really was just like Diddy and like I'm trying to think in like Michael Jordan. Like, really Shaq. Like
really wasn't no businessman like that in the forefront. Granted, you know, that's around the football. We got the football area, and we got a chance to see. Like when we seen I believe the gentleman's name is Diamond Scooby or something like that. I just remember his whole camp, the whole football camp.
Yeah, the football guy, Damon John.
Damon.
But you know, even with that football, the campaign was the dopest campaign I've ever seen, and I want to rewind and go back to that because they didn't even tell us that there was a black man behind this. Right. We knew it was for us, by us. It was like, oh, it's by us. But they didn't even put him on the fore, and that could have been something he did. Yeah. But I'm thinking, oh, LL Cool J on a commercial. Let me get some food.
But don't forget, this is like us as 80, baby. We talking about the magazine era.
Yeah.
Magazine when the first of the month hit. And you going to go get that Vibe magazine. Yeah. You going to get that Vibe magazine. And what I used to love doing with the Vibe magazine is I used to have a magazine, I have a pen and a paper. Yeah. And I used to write down, like in the fashion section, how much add up, like what I wanted to buy, get there. Oh, they go LRG. Ooh, look at this Averex. Ooh, what goggles he got on. Yeah. Ooh, them jeans is hard. Yeah. Ooh, Army fatigue. Army fatigue. Yep. Oh, no limit mass. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so through that, you got actually a chance if you was really tapped in like that to see the faces behind a lot of that. I didn't know Mark Echo was white. Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah. I thought Mark Echo was a brother, but that's the power of advertisement. Yep. So it goes to what you were saying earlier. What happened? What was the shift, right? Yeah. The shift was now from changing the product to now I'm monetizing my talent. So here it is. I thought I was going to be a track and field professional, gold medalist or something, or whatever the case may be, only to find out this is the dirty game. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So now transferring my talent, now I know I can monetize my talent. I can monetize the things that I say. I can sell or promote. I got real big into promotion. So now it's about a numbers thing. Now it's about how much you make off the bar. Y'all made 20,000 on the bar. Oh, you made 100. Oh yeah, they made $1 million at the bar. I'm like, they made what? Yeah. In a night? That's impossible. And that my mind didn't think that for. So it had to be stretched. The reason why a lot of us in our communities do the things that we do is because we don't know anything else. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got fire weed in the bay. Yeah. You feel me? Oh, yeah, I got Kush. Oh, yeah, I got Perp. Oh, yeah, I got this. Oh, I got that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if you watch American Gangster. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Only one nigga had the blue magic.
Facts. I mean, it comes down to a few things in my end. I think mathematics, like you said, your number was $63 a day. You knew that mathematics. So you got to know your mathematics and understand your numbers, because when you do your numbers, if you just serve our community, you can be a millionaire.
Facts.
Like, but you don't think that because you're not taught that. You think you got to go out here and work this job or sell for somebody else or anything like that. Like, and you don't think, oh wait, I could be the product.
I could stamp my. Wait a minute, hold on. I could buy something wholesale.
Yeah.
I could like this. I would never see myself. The only reason this had got started. Yeah. Shout out to my boy Willie Lynch, and yes, that's his real name. That's the craziest shit.
That's crazy.
His real name is Willie Lynch. Our brother from St. Louis. I couldn't get back in contact with him to get this right here. Yeah. And so I started doing my research, doing my due diligence. And what you put into as an entrepreneur, and this is shout out to all the entrepreneurs, what you put into some shit is what you're going to get out. So I put the research in. I started testing herbs. I got an herb library. You know what I'm saying? I got the herb encyclopedia. Me and my grandmother, we had conversations, and she started telling, oh yeah, Nettlewood and sapopella and all these different roots and all this. She started schooling me, and so now my mind is fixated, and now I'm manifesting. That's what they're talking about when you're talking about manifesting as an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Really just indulging in it. So I learned everything I can learn about CMOS. I learned about how it feels, when you know it's working, what's real, what's fake, what do you want to serve your people. You know what I'm saying? Where does burdock even originated from? What did I like cool shit like I could talk to you about where burdock root was used, and the Indians use it as, you know what I'm saying, in their culture. You know what I'm saying? Bladderwrack. What is bladderwrack? Bladderwrack is like the cousin of sea moss. It's a different type of algae. And understanding those facts to be able to lay somebody, because, you know, not everything is good for everybody.
Not. You know what I'm going to say? I hope he did some videos on all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He likes me with game many years ago. I just didn't understand the power and the leverage of just information.
Yeah,
like this particular type of
To be honest, like even when you say that, I'm guilty of that too, because I never did that. Even as the pandemic happened, I never started giving my game out on business and marketing. A lot of it was internal. I feel like I was an over perfectionist, but I didn't even do it myself. I'm giving out all this advice, and I didn't even do it. I'm seeing all these internet gurus coming out of nowhere,
blowing
that
up,
I'm coming for that's blowing up, and I'm like, y'all ain't even been doing this. I've been doing this since 2010. Like I can run marketing tracks around anybody, but it's like you got to be in that space to be able to do that. What has been one of the from that time? Let's go back to 10 years ago, because you said you had that first check. That first big check.
06, yeah.
06, so that's 15, 16, 17 years ago. From now, and then after that, what was the hardest thing you had to go through as you transition? Because being an actor is up and down.
Boy, the entertainment business is a mug.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I had to go through after getting, I never forget it. It was like we accumulated a lot of money at that point in time. But then what happened right after that was the strike.
And a recession.
Well, I tell you, the strike was my recession, because here it is. It was a shell shock for me, 21, 22-year-old kid getting that amount of money.
Easy money.
Like easy money. I'm talking about, I'm finally, being able to, in a lump sum, be able to purchase, like my toys, 86 Monte Carlo with the LS1 in it, with the Posse, the 89 Mustang that I always wanted, you know what I'm saying? And building engines from up only to understand that the money dwindles if you like. And I remember my homeboy came at me with a network marketing opportunity at the time. Yeah, just when he was fresh in it, right? And I was like, nah, nigga, I'm getting money. Woo. Only to find out that probably would have been the best investment for me to make at that time, just on the simple fact for that education, so I could be able to pour into somebody, be able to pour what to do, into me. So that was the hardest. That was one of the hardest things. Just going with the ups and downs, and then now you sacrificing different things. Now you back surviving, having all of it, then not having nothing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And understanding, I get it. Money comes, money goes, but why be stupid with it? Not if it can empower you. That's why right now, like as an entrepreneur, I also do financial services. Nice. I educate people on, annuities. Never heard of the word annuity until I started, start researching financial services.
I got one of those.
I'm telling you, they're the
shit. Living off of it. Yeah, shout out to my mom's.
For real. You talk about like how many people know about Index Universal lives? A lot of people think life insurance is just about when you die. Now they got something called living benefits for built into the policy. You can pull from it. God forbid anything happens to you.
I heard you talk about that earlier. I didn't say much because I have a life insurance policy on myself, my wife, my kids. But I was able to leverage my life insurance for business.
Exactly.
And it was easy. It was like, oh, you have life insurance? Yeah, go ahead. And it was crazy because I was able to secure $250,000 just off of me having a policy, $200 a month.
See?
And it was like, okay, like that makes sense. And even now, the moves I make financially, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm studying. I'm saying, they could do it. Why can't I do it? My man said, it's cool when they do it. Yeah.
If I do it,
fuck them. But so I was able to handle that, and I would say this, guys, like I'm a big advocate on you can have fun with 20% of your money.
That is very true.
Do whatever you want with 20% of your money.
Facts. Big facts.
Whatever you want. And the rest of it, allocate it towards, your growth in your future because you're going to need it. But you can't die with it. You want to enjoy life, and the biggest investment that you made was yourself.
Yeah.
And managing that and now you're helping individuals understand financial independence.
Yeah. Power of home banking, man.
Yeah.
Just the information alone, bro. It's like, and what I'm learning, bro, with this, I could tell you all this stuff till you blue in the face. It's still your decision to pick up the information and I'm gonna just say it, just unniggatize yourself.
Bro, I got so many homeboys that got like nigga mentality. They know who they are. Hopefully they listen to this podcast. But like I'm the homie that like when you get bread, when you come into bread, and shout out to my mom with this because she taught me this. I'm gonna come talk to you and be like, buy some property, put this money away, do this. And it's like, I've learned that niggas just don't be listening. Like, you can say something, and then somebody's going to take it, and they going to do what they want with it, buy whatever they want, and then after the fact, they like, oh, man, like, how do we as a culture get over that? How do we as a culture get over...
OG's got to step up. That's the fact. I always say this when I look at my sons, for example, right? I look at it like this. I was like, man, just imagine if my pops was around, right? And we know the play was to break up the home. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For us to not do this, though, I look back at my sons and I'm like, oh, shit, they're going to be straight.
Yeah.
Why is they going to be straight, though?
We're raising rich kids now.
Because I get to pour into them now. I get to... Damn, I know the plays, or I at least know what direction to point them. I at least know how to, you know what I'm saying, just give them that game, that when they get 18, when they get 19, hell, when they get a certain age, get them a credit card, not to use up, not to spend up, not to fuck off. Nah, but so when they get a particular age, when they get 18, they already have established credit. Nobody told us that play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the best thing about being a parent and actually knowing the information now, man.
Yeah, it's interesting because as an entrepreneur, even my mom never understood entrepreneurship, but she understood that there were, like, we live in a nice neighborhood and none of the men worked for anybody else. They all worked for themselves. So she allowed me to get in that journey. She had a 9 to 5 to support me, but she allowed me that creation. She allowed me that flexibility. She allowed me that time to have growth and become a proper entrepreneur. And I appreciated that with her because now you're right. I'm able to spill it in my kids. Like, shout out to my daughter. She got a crate of blueberries the other day, and like she went to give them to some of the neighbors. My wife's not a consumer. She's not for the money and all that. My daughter's going around and she was like, box of blueberries for a donation. Like, she knows about the money and just valuing and buying her whole own things. And I think as a culture, we need that. Yeah. We need to be educated on it because it's not something that's readily available. And like, even with our friends, it's like, for me to own 2 properties, my business, got a nice car, support my family, do everything, and it's like, damn, nigga, I'm not even a good sample size for you. Like, to realize, oh, this is how you do it. We come from the same thing. Like, this is how you do it. And it's like, I think as a culture, we need to for sure become more financially independent, for sure, come products. Yeah. So tell me what you got right here and tell me where they can find you.
Well, check this out. This right here, what I have is just raw sea moss. This raw sea moss itself. Everything right here is imported from Jamaica. Like I told you guys, I pay my divers, go out there, get it, dry it, send it to me. Amazing benefits. This is a half a pound of sea moss right here. If you know how to make it. Okay. Also on my website, I'll show you how to make it. You can find us on Instagram at Strong Sea Moss, the letter N and herbs. Strong Sea Moss and herbs. Okay. Or you could just go.
We're gonna drop it. We're gonna drop it for you.
Or you just go on my website, MikeProfitStrong.com. Hit the hamburger in the top right hand corner. Scroll down. It has all your options. All right. This right here This right here is our sea moss gel. Now, our sea moss gel is amazing. We make it traditionally, we put it in traditional form. We no city punch, aka city water, ever touches any of my products. Definitely in the making process. What we do is we wash it. That's how my grandmother says it. We wash it. we wash it in spring water. Washing this spring water, get it like very, very nice and clean. We take cinnamon bark and we take key limes and we put it through an overnight process of letting it soak and getting all those alkaline in it and getting natural. And then from there that we blend it and add additional seawater. We do not boil ours. For those of you out there boiling your sea moss, you strip it of the nutrients, right? So that's the sea moss gel. And then this one right here, man, this is actually one of my best sellers right here. This is the sea moss, bladderwrack, and burdock in capsules. And the size of our capsules are 750 milligrams versus 500, which you typically used to seeing. And the reason because it's volume, you get at least the best amount, in my opinion, that has worked best for me. Yeah. But the sea moss, 92 of the 102 minerals your body's made of. The bladderwrack has helped the detoxification and whatnot. The burdock help naturally clean the blood, and that's just the elevator pitch for it. But ultimately, when you put all three of these herbs together, I call it 102% formula because it gives you all 102 minerals your body's made of. Absolutely. Helps you with the energy, helps you with the circulation, fellas. Circulation, ladies. Ladies help you with that juice box. Mm-hmm. You know, great for when you're on your menstrual. And those are my clients. Those are testimonies that tell me that. Sexual function. I've made children with this. Great for fertility. Trust and believe is I call it a COVID-19 fighter. And last but not least, it's the mucus killer body healer, as I like to kill it. And this one right here, fellas, I looked out for us, man. I call this Excalibur, be my strength. Yeah, man. That's bro. Let's just say this, brothers. And let's just say you take this, brother, your blast, when it's time, hold on to something. She'll thank you later. She'll thank you later, man. But yeah, those are all the things that I have outside of that. The financial services, I'm really big on that, educating people on the financial services end, just so they understand, you know, how to be able to leverage themselves. And I always pose this question when talking about financial services: do you know what you're worth? Some of y'all ain't worth nothing, dead or alive. And some people are worth more dead than alive. You know what I'm saying? But that's for a whole nother conversation. Please feel free to reach out to me at Mr. Mike Strong on Instagram, or like I said, just hit my website, MikeProfitStrong.com, and everything's on there, fam.
Man, this is an awesome podcast. I got one more question for you. What would you say to the young entrepreneur looking into getting the entertainment business and expanding their entertainment so they become the brand as you did yourself?
Well, it's really a network thing too. It's who you know, it's how you know them. It's who you know, how you know them, and where you know them from. I always recommend new actors. I met a lot of great people, like great actors in acting classes. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't be a one-trick pony. I read Ivan Trebek, Ivan Trebek's book about being an actor. You know, if you're out here in Los Angeles, I recommend Richard Lawson. I recommend, Tasha Smith. I recommend people just go and really indulge themselves into the acting world. Don't turn down theater. Theater is amazing practice. You know what I mean? It's amazing practice. You meet thespians galore. But the way that you brand yourself, now we have social media. Social media is an awesome way to leverage. And this gentleman right here can show you how to automize. Most definitely show you how to automize and just being in a presence. Make sure that you have these three things: casting frontiers, actors access, and casting networks. If you're looking to get into it, you gotta have your tools. Make sure you have a headshot. Make sure you have a reel. And if you're a business, how are you gonna be able to show your business? All I gotta do is open my phone right now. How you go like this? You scan it.
You got all your information.
You got everything right there. You got my whole website. You got my reels. You got my, everything under the sun.
We call it the digital doorway.
Exactly, man. You got to be about your business. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be accessible. It's just like all y'all that finally start taking all kinds of payments, and now before everybody just cash, now nobody cash.
Man.
Like, you got to get it. So Man, this was a great pod, and I love to have you
Appreciate
back to
it,
continue this conversation because
Absolutely.
we like to show our growth in our entrepreneurs, and appreciate you for coming out and showing us these products. Appreciate you guys for listening to another episode of Entrepreneur Enthusiast.
Yes.
Tap in with us on all platforms. Shout out to my man Mike Strong. I'm gonna leave all his links at the bottom wherever we're posting this. And man, thank you for coming out, man.
I
appreciate you, man.
Thank you for the invite, man.
Yep.
It's been a pleasure, man. Peace, y'all.